I've taken over 100 international flights, and while it's always exciting, it can also be quite nerve-wracking. Not knowing that you need something or accidentally breaking a rule could lead to denied boarding, being rejected on arrival at your destination, or even facing a hefty fine. In today's video, I'll be covering the things that you need to know and need to prepare for before an international flight to keep your vacation as fun, exciting, and stress-free as possible. If you are taking an international flight, you will need a valid passport. Any ID, including real ID cards, cannot be shown and used for traveling outside of the United States. Not for Mexico, not for Canada, not for any international country. For your passport to be valid for travel, double check that it is at least 6 months prior to the expiration date and that there are at least 2 full empty pages available for stamps. If your passport does not meet these requirements, you may not be able to board your flight. You will also want to be certain of the entry requirements of the country or the countries that you will be visiting on your trip. If you need a visa, and there are many countries that American citizens need visas for, or if you need something like proof of insurance, you will need to show these documents before boarding your departure flight. An airline agent is going to check because if you don't have any of these mandatory documents, you will end up getting rejected from the country once you land, and then that airline is going to be responsible to flying you right back to the US. Since these documents are so important, I recommend you carry both a physical copy as well as have digital versions stored in the cloud or even emailed to yourself just in case. I also have a free checklist for you that is linked down in the video description, and it's going to list out all of the documents that you may need for your international trip. This leads us right into the next thing that you need to do before taking an international flight, which is to make sure that you are covered for any accidents or medical emergencies before you travel. It's likely that your local health insurance isn't going to cover you while you are traveling abroad, and whether you think you need it or not, many countries require that you have proof of an insurance policy that is going to cover you if anything happens during your trip. And in many cases, if you do not have coverage, you will not be able to enter that country. I'm excited to have partnered with SafetyWing on this video to share the news of their newly launched global health insurance plan, Nomad Health. Nomad Health is a comprehensive health insurance that covers your medical needs in over 175 countries with 24/7 emergency support. You'll be covered for preventative care, like a dentist checkup, as well as medically necessary treatment, and even have wellness benefits like physiotherapy and therapy sessions. I'll leave a link down in the video description for you to see all of the details and make a decision on if Nomad Health is going to be right for you. It's pretty cool. It's also important to know how regulations for international flights are going to differ from regulations for domestic flights, and you will want to know this before you start packing. A common question that I get asked is if you are allowed to lock a checked suitcase with a TSA lock if you are flying outside of the US. The answer is yes, and I would always recommend that you either purchase a checked suitcase that has one of those TSA locks built into it, or purchase a separate TSA lock that you can put onto your checked suitcase before you check it in at the airport. Locking your suitcase is going to prevent theft, and it's also going to reduce the risk of your suitcase coming apart while in transit. Those checked bags are thrown around quite a bit. The regulations around what food you can and can't bring are also going to be more strict on an international flight in comparison to on domestic flights. One thing to research if you do plan to take your own food onto the plane is going to be the agriculture regulations of any country that you will be entering. Anything from fruit to nuts to meat to dairy may be prohibited, and you will need to consume these or dispose of them before you land. And here is a big one. Think twice before packing any drugs into your checked or your carry-on suitcase if you are taking an international flight. This includes marijuana products and even CBD. Do not bring marijuana products on any plane. Even if it's legal in the state that you are flying out of and legal in the destination that you are flying into, marijuana is still illegal under federal law, and you cannot fly with it domestically or internationally. This is so key to know because something that may seem innocent to you, like marijuana, could be highly illegal in the country that you are traveling to, or even a country that you may be taking a connecting flight from. For example, in Dubai, marijuana is highly illegal and you could end up with jail time as well as fines. Electronic smoking devices like vape pens and e-cigarettes are allowed on an international flight, but only in your carry-on, not in your checked bag. Just take them out and place them in the bin with your other electronics as you go through security. And always pack your prescription medication in the original container in your carry-on bag, and be sure to check with the foreign embassy website of the country that you are traveling to or connecting through to learn which prescription drugs may be illegal in that country. It's also essential to consider the local language at your destination country, and then remember that not everywhere is going to cater to English speakers, not even at the airport. You will likely need to fill out an immigration form on arrival, and these forms might not be in English. You can use something like Google Translate, but it's a little risky to rely on a tool like this. I will always Google the English version of an immigration form before I travel to a new country, and then I will save it as a screenshot to my phone and often even print it out. I'll reference this English version that I have with me to help me fill out whatever version I am given when arriving in a new country, even if it's in another language. This trick saved me the last time that I flew into Mexico and all of the immigration forms were in Spanish. I do not speak Spanish. Don't forget to check the link in the description that is going to give you all of the details on SafetyWing's Nomad Health, as well as the link to download that free checklist with all of the things that you will need for your international trip. My name's Megan, and I would love to see you subscribe to join us back here for more videos with travel tips and hacks next week. See you soon and safe travels. Bye.